All our universities are state universities. But all the schools strive to reach a high level of achievement for their students. I think also the importance of a curriculum and of an education which allows children to be children, which allows them to develop in the whole. We, like Korea, regard academic success as very important. We want our children to have the skills of literacy, of numeracy, basic science, basic understanding of humanities and the arts. But we want them to be also to be rounded citizens of the future. So emphasis on sports, emphasis on arts, music or dance or whatever. So we give them the chance to develop their full capabilities through our education system. And I think that's very important for healthy citizens of the future.
I see. 이런 그 교육 철학 때문일지는 모르겠지만 뉴질랜드의 인구가 한국의 10분의 1밖에 안 되죠. 그럼에도 불구하고 벌써 3명의 노벨상 수상자를 배출했는데 그 비결도 상당히 궁금합니다. So New Zealand has a population that is only 1/10 of that of the Republic of Korea, but yet the New Zealand already has 3 Nobel Prize laureates. What's the secret behind this, sir?
I don't know the secret. If I did, I would be a Nobel Prize winner myself. But I think if you look at our scientists and the discoveries they've made, it goes back to the nature of our country. We're a geographically distant country in the world, small population, and so our people, right from the early days, had to solve problems themselves. They couldn't rely on somebody else. So we had this mentality of problem solving and innovation. And I think that is what has given rise to some highly successful scientists and people in other fields too. You'll find New Zealanders all around the world who are world leaders in something or some field or other, whether it's the arts or whatever, science. And I think it's that it's the desire to succeed, but it's also that common sense and problem-solving ability.
2007년도에 상당히 재미있는 일이 있었습니다. 뉴질랜드의 두 여고생이 그 주스에 함유된 비타민 C의 양과 실제 성분의 양이 다르다는 것을 밝혀내가지고 과학 실험 시간에 그 세계 제2의 제약회사를 상대로 소송을 제기해서 승소를 한 일이 있는데 학교에서 어떤 과학 수업을 하길래 이런 일이 일어났는지 상당히 궁금합니다. So back in 2007, two high school girls found out in their science class and that vitamin C content written on the label of a product is actually different from the actual content of the vitamin C.
Yeah.
And they filed a lawsuit against the company. They won.
Yeah.
And what kind of science classes are being conducted in the country to make this kind of thing ever possible, sir?
Yeah. Well, I think that goes to what I was talking about teaching them competencies. I mean, students need to learn a certain amount of information, right? So whether it's history or science, you need to know some basic facts. But more than that, for the future, what you need is them to be able to know scientific method and how to conduct experiments and how to solve problems. So how to discover information, because that's what's going to be important to them in the future. Not the information itself, but how do they discover the information. So yes, these two girls went off and just in a normal science class, a project they had, the drink was their favourite drink, but they wanted to check it out, and they found that yes, there was a case of misleading advertising. The company apologised and improved the product.
Wow, sounds so interesting, sir.
Yeah.
네. 지금 많은 한국 학생들과 또 관광객들이 뉴질랜드를 방문하고 있는데요. 그러니까 아직까지 뉴질랜드를 찾지 못한 관광객들과 한국인들에게 여기는 꼭 가봐라, 또 이런 음식은 꼭 한번 트라이 해봐라, 추천해 주시고 싶은 게 있는지 궁금한데, so more and more Koreans are visiting New Zealand these days for traveling and for studying.
Yes.
Would you recommend any good tourist destinations in the country or any traditional cuisine that we can try when we visit the country, sir?
Well, I think that in terms of tourism, I think most Koreans see New Zealand as a environmental paradise, and I think that is true to a fair extent. Particularly the South Island of New Zealand is particularly beautiful in a scenic sense. We have very large national parks. We have the mountains, the Alps, the Southern Alps. We have the beautiful beaches, and I think there are only 1 million people living in the South Island of New Zealand, which is larger in land area than South Korea.
Oh, wow.
So you can travel around, not see many people, and I think there is unspoilt natural beauty there. In terms of food, I guess New Zealand's traditional food, or traditional cuisine, came from the United Kingdom, and you know, it was fish and chips. You have to have fish and chips when you go to New Zealand, you know, and eat them out of the paper bag. But also, in more recent years, taking advantage of our sort of high quality agricultural produce, fish, etc. We've developed, and also the fact that we have many immigrant groups in our country, from Europe, from Asia, from the Pacific, and so melding all those cuisine influences into a kind of fusion cuisine, which has become very popular in New Zealand. So, and fusion cuisine is hard to describe because it's innovative, and by definition, the chefs are trying to create some innovative tastes, merging different influences. So I think that's what I would recommend. You know, go to New Zealand restaurants and try fusion cuisine, and of course have a glass or two of New Zealand wine, Sauvignon Blanc,
which is really famous in Korea these days.
It's famous in Korea these days. Yeah.
It's kind of a counter question. If there's any, are you fond of any Korean cuisine or traditional food?
Yeah, I love Korean cuisine. I'm heavily into bibimbap and spicy beef soup. I like the fish here. Andong chicken.
Oh, wow.
I have a whole lot of favourites among kalbi. I think it's great to go out for an evening with friends around kalbi, you know, and perhaps go on to the nori bang afterwards. So I think it's, I enjoy Korean cuisine. I think it's very healthy and very tasty.
And have you traveled around the country recently in the Republic of Korea?
Well, I've done quite a lot of travel. I've been to Busan many times, Jeju-do. I've been down to Gyeongju, the historical park, which is, I think, fantastic. Over to Gangneum. I go skiing in Yongpyong. I've been down to Daecheon Beach and Malibor Beach.